We'd like to welcome all of you tuning in to Nanjing, China, here at the YOG Sports Park for Day 4 action here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019. My name is Ryan Greco, taking care of your play-by-play, joined by Mr. International himself, Mark Mills, taking care of your color commentary. And Mark, I don't think it would be a stretch to say that this is a must-win for both teams in action tonight here in Group F.
Yeah, absolutely. Before starting the tournament, this is the game that both these teams will have looked at and thought, that's the one we've got to win. If we want to advance out of this tough group, we have to turn over what is considered the two underdog sides in this group. It's going to be a big ask for both these sides to progress, so the win today is absolutely critical.
And I think taking a look at this, both of these teams, some very strong performances individually from a few players here and there, but as we're introducing the New Zealand team, I can imagine that really the two brothers, from what I saw, seem to be the ones that are going to have the most to prove in this situation. Both players started off hot. That, of course, is Ty and Corey Webster. We'll see if they can put together a full game themselves and see if they can come away with the win here.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. Obviously, they seemed to hand over the baton at half-time. We had Corey Webster with a huge first half, and then Ty Webster picked it up in the second half. They're going to be critical. There's no two ways about it. Some of the things from the first game, though, I think they were a little bit shell-shocked. You know, a tough first game against Greece, but they showed in that second half what they can actually do. You know, it's one of those, sorry, against Brazil, it's one of those where you hope that they can string it for 40 minutes. And there's certain glimmers that they can. For example, their rebounding performance, 35 rebounds in that opening game, the most of any first game for any World Cup team. So there's signs that they can really put it on when they try.
And taking a look here as Montenegro are getting announced in their starting lineups. Another major question will be, can Vucevic have himself, Nikola Vucevic that is, have himself a big game after a rather disappointing performance against Greece, just 12 points in that one?
Yeah, there was a huge amount of hype from us as well with regards to Vucevic coming into the tournament, but the whole of the starting five struggled for Montenegro. An amazing statistic coming out that first game was the fact that the bench outscored the starting five 32-28. Which you just wouldn't imagine ever seeing in this kind of tournament, but it happened, and Vucevic is going to be critical to their success today. Expect to see the ball in his hands in the low post an awful lot more than we did last year.
As we take a look at the schedule today, Montenegro and New Zealand battling for survival in Group F, whereas later on tonight we're going to have Brazil versus Greece to see who's going to come out and really probably take control of this group in general.
Yeah, huge game. Top of the table clash tonight is a massive, massive game.
And also, as we take a look at the standings so far, as we've said, Greece and Brazil going to be playing later on tonight. And as we said here, New Zealand and Montenegro getting an opportunity. And we're just going to take a quick pause as we get ourselves set for the national anthem.
Now, please stand for the national anthem of New Zealand. 请全体起立，升新西兰国旗，奏唱新西兰国歌。Please remain standing for the national anthem of Montenegro. 请保持肃立，升黑山国旗，奏唱黑山国歌。
And as the teams get ready to exchange some gifts, Mark, it's one of probably our favorite moments in this tournament and in this Group F so far. Of course, it is time for the haka.
Yeah, no better way to start the game.
Taking a quick look at our referees today, we have Roberto Vasquez of Puerto Rico as the crew chief, Leandro Lescano from Argentina, and also Mikhail Prok of Poland. That is your referees for this matchup.
Gets the hairs on the back of the neck standing on end and just tingling when you see the haka.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mark. Couldn't have said it better myself. And of course, little, if you could hear in the background, some of the Montenegrin fans getting a little rowdy while they were hearing it. And, you know, you're coming from a culture like Montenegro. They're not the type to easily be intimidated.
It's so interesting. You see different cultures react differently to the haka. Some stand in a line, arm in arm with your teammates and just kind of stare the people down. Other, you know, Pacific nations, such as the Samoans and the Tongans, they obviously will step forward and take the challenge of the kind of war cry of the haka. Whichever way you look at it, I think whether you're doing the haka or on the receiving end, it gets you ready for the game.
Absolutely, as we just took a quick view of the starting lineup for New Zealand. Now, of course, as we take a look at the highlights here, here's the man, one of the most important players for this New Zealand team after a very impressive showing in that first game, Corey Webster.
Yeah, had a very hot hand in that first half before Garcia locked him down. But he ended up with 19.6 assists, and the most important stat was probably the 5 from 12 from the perimeter for Webster.
He was on fire in that first half, shooting from deep. As we take a look at Montenegro's starting lineup, we have Ivanovic, Popovic, Sehovic, Dublevic, and, of course, Vucevic there at the center.
Yeah, a big starting five, strong physical starting five. Obviously, the front court of Dublevic and Vucevic is probably one of the most physical in the tournament.
All headed up by Coach Mitrovic. As we're just getting set here. And, of course, who else can we talk about having a very, very impressive first game against the Greeks? Petar Popovic, tell us a little bit about him, Mark. Yeah,
there wasn't a huge amount of shining lights from that first game for Montenegro, but Petar Popovic's performance, 11 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. He really took a control of the game. When Montenegro needed someone to step up and really, assert some authority on the game, he was there and ready to take that mantle.
Absolutely. As Paulinari just speaking to his players, we'll just give him a moment to see what he's got to say. And of course, at this time, we'd like to remind everybody to make sure that you can catch up with all the FIBA World Cup 2019 action on the app, available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. So make sure you grab that and download it. Of course, as I've said before, it's done wonders for me as far as keeping up to date on everything. Mark, I'm sure it's been a great help to you.
Oh, it's by far and away the best way to keep up with all the action, and there's so many highlight plays that you get to watch. It's a wonderful app.
As both teams now getting ready for the tip-off. And away we go. New Zealand with the win, and bringing it up is going to be Ty Webster, who gets the starting nod today with his brother Corey Webster, who now has the ball. Nice find inside to Ty, and right away they found the basket. New Zealand.
Yeah, what a great way to start the game. T-Web with a wonderful backdoor cut, and that's where brotherly players come into action. They can read each other very well.
You can tell they've been practicing that one since they're about 6 years old out in the park. As we get a look now here. Popovic kicks it over into the corner. Sehovic is going to let it fly, no good, but Montenegro still keeps it alive, and guess who? That's going to be Popovic again, gets it into the corner. Ivanovic gets it inside. This is Dubljevic. Kicks it back out. Great ball movement in the beginning here by Montenegro. And we're going to call a foul on the ground there on Corey Webster, who claps his hands in frustration.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Montenegro are going to have to work on a two-in offensive set as we see the foul called on Webster. It's difficult because you don't usually see that in modern basketball. Two bigs that want to be in the post playing at the same time, particularly as neither of those bigs can particularly shoot from perimeter. Nice
drive to the basket and a great finish there. You can imagine he was taking advantage there. Give that to number 20, Nikola Ivanovic. Here's Webster. Nearly loses his balance, gets it back. Here's Lowe. He's going to let it fly from deep. Knocks it down. What a shot.
Huge shot from Lowe, appreciated by Russ Batch on the bench, but there's your difference. New Zealand have got bigs that are happy to step out and shoot the three. You can't necessarily say the same about Montenegro. That said, they could potentially bring in someone like Bjelica later in the game, and he can do that for them.
See, a nearly attempted steal there by Webster on the inbound. It's New Zealand just trying to get right away, trying to get to it as far as the defensive end is concerned. Montenegro now getting it over. That's Dubljevic. Back over to Popovic. Excuse me, that was Ivanovic that was there that got seems like there was a reach in.
Yeah, slightly over-eager defense from New Zealand, and a couple of plays now that we've seen that. They don't want to get too happy trying to reach in. Oh, in fact, it's a pull from Abercrombie as he goes around the screen.
Here we are. Dubljevic gets it back over. This is Ivanovic. Trying to work the pick and roll, kicks it out. Vucevic now with the ball. First touch of the game for him. Popovic's going to let it fly from three. You can almost tell right away. Great air ball, but a rebound by 4-2, and here comes Abercrombie to see if he can get going early. No good in the beginning. Dubljevic with the rebound.
Yeah, New Zealand really need Abercrombie to produce offensively. He had a real tough 100th cap last time out. He'll want more today.
Vucevic on the inside on Lowe. Great finish there by the NBA star.
And flipping it to Montenegro, that's exactly what they need to see from Vucevic. He spent way too much time away from the basket in yesterday's game.
Webster from deep, knocks it down, picking it up right where he left off yesterday in that first quarter.
His range is so impressive. He's happy and comfortable shooting from some serious distance.
Here we are, Vucevic. This is now Petar Popovic. Gets it over to his teammate on the inside. We're gonna get another off-ball foul on Abercrombie. Just his second personal. Rough start for him again.
Yeah, that's tough. He's one of the leaders in the New Zealand team. It'd be interesting to see if Coach Inare leaves him in the game. It's a risk. No, he's going to make the change now.
That was an easy call for the referee as well. As you see, yeah, as you said, the coaching staff making the decision there. Substitution as we get back to the action. There's a kick out. Off in the corner. Popovic is going to let it fly again. Fearless after the air ball. No problem. He's going to keep on shooting.
And you have to. It's one of those. You have to ride it off.
Webster up and in. Great defense there by Ivanovic. Fast break opportunity. Popovic going to go in on 4-2. Nothing happening, though. Great closeout by the big man. Inside now. They're going to let Vucevic work. Kicks it back out. Popovic tries to throw it over. Another steal, though, and here comes Corey Webster. Fast break opportunity, up and in, just misses the layup, was number 20, Nartai.
And the pace of this game is going to suit New Zealand at the moment. Montenegro, a more traditional European nation, they want to play half-court basketball. It's New Zealand that want the run and gun.
Popovic, oh, nice move there. Up, in, easy basket. Loses Webster right away off faking the screen. Can Webster respond? Oh, he's going to let it fly again. Nothing but net.
I have a feeling we might be in for another shooting clinic from Corey Webster.
Getting the approval on the bench there is Coach Mitrovic over in Montenegro. He's not pleased. They knew what to expect from him. Here's the inside look. Oh, nice give and go there. Give that one to number 4, Nikola Vucevic. Webster inside for 2, but maybe a smart decision there by Ivanovic, making sure the foul happened on the ground, prevented any shooting foul because of the mismatch.
And it was something they worked on explicitly yesterday in training. They worked on, they knew that New Zealand were going to go for the screens to create mismatches both sides, opening the shooter up with speed and also getting the mismatch on the big. And they were talking about when to foul, how to foul, not to get that unsportsmanlike foul call.
Ty Webster gets it over to his brother Corey. Gets inside, Rob Lowe, guess who? getting everything done. Mark, he's a personal favorite of yours, is he not?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the great thing. We're starting to see a nice fluid form of basketball from New Zealand, and Webster's vision there, it shows that he's got skills, not just to score the ball from distance, but he's got some great vision as well.
Petar Popovic over to Vucevic now. Motion offense at the top here. Ivanovic going to let it fly from 3. Has he missed yet?
That's unbelievable. You have to bear in mind, Montenegro scored 16 points in the first half yesterday. They're on 13 points after 4.5 minutes.
Webster again. Corey Webster, ladies and gentlemen. Are you kidding me?
Hey, school is in, that is for sure here today.
Ivanovic. What a battle we're seeing between these two right now, Mark.
Yeah, it seems to have turned into that, hasn't it? Ivanovic versus Corey Webster. And neither of them are going to back down. Neither of them are going to step away from the challenge, and we're in for a treat.
As 4-2 subs out, coming into the game now is number 3, Finn Delaney, who had a very solid game, as a matter of fact, against Brazil. A couple of outside shots.
Yeah, Delaney's an interesting one. Only 24 years old, so he's got an awful long time in the national team ahead of him. He's one of the bright stars of the future. But Illy's also checked into the game, and that's an exciting kind of addition to New Zealand. He brings so much pace and athleticism.
Shea Illy getting to the free throw line 10 times against Brazil. As a matter of fact, 7 of those happened in the 4th quarter. We'll see if Montenegro can keep him in check, as there's going to be a 3-point foul there by Nartai
and it's
on
just
Sahovic.
It's just a crime. You know, as a coach, it's pretty much page 1 of the textbook that you hand to your players. Don't foul a shooter. It's pretty much straightforward, and he's just clattered through him. It's not even a subjective call for the officials.
And you know, if you're going to foul anybody, or if you're going to get right in the grill of anybody, you might want to cover Ivanovic or Popovic in that situation. They're the ones that are catching fire right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Shahovic isn't going to be someone that looks to shoot the ball. He shot 25% yesterday. But the one thing he's got going in his favour, Nartai, is that he's not a great foul shooter. Didn't shoot any, in the first game, but in the qualifiers he was only shooting 60% from the line. So maybe not the worst person to foul, but still not a great foul.
That's good on the first. Suad Sehovic at the line here. Makes good.
It's a real household name in Montenegro, though. The Shahovic brothers, he's won the Montenegrin League 4 times, the Cup 6 times. A real icon of Montenegrin basketball.
Makes good on the second as well. Or all 3, excuse me. Shooting 100%. Here's Shea Illy. This is Delaney. Motion offense again here. Illy gets it back. Oh, nice crossover there. Goes up and in with the... Oh, not with the finish. Spoke too soon.
And that's the mismatch they're looking for every time. Trying to get a big man to come out and guard someone like Illy.
Dublevic for 3. Nothing but net. And he's screaming and yelling directly at the Montenegrin supporters behind us, Mark.
Yeah, and they're going to have their impact. I can bet all my money on that the Montenegrin fans will impact this game.
Shot goes up. Oh my goodness, it's a shooting clinic right now, Mark.
This is unbelievable. Both teams are really trying to light it up from the outside, which is impressive because neither had a massively great game from the outside. Montenegro in particular only shot 26% in that first game from perimeter.
Ethan Rusbach was the one that knocked that one down as we get over to Dublevic here. Vucevic now thinking about it. Nice pump fake to get him off the ground, but loses a handle. It seems like there was a bit of miscommunication there, expecting someone to step over.
Yeah, he was expecting someone to be in the top middle, but they weren't. They were slightly more towards the wing. It's just one of those rusty moments when you come together as a team on an international kind of system and in a tournament like this. It's not club basketball. You don't know each other perfectly.
Here's Dublevic. You can see him right away staring at the supporters out of camera view, but they're loud and proud back there.
And this is the thing, I was lucky enough to commentate on the game that they qualified in Podgorica. 600,000 in their country, the smallest ever country to qualify for a World Cup. They're so proud of what they've achieved, and they still could make it through.
Here's Delaney. Goes up and going to finish it himself and gets hacked while he's going to the basket. What a battle we've got to kick off Day 2 action here in Group F. Day 4 overall, of course.
Yeah, it certainly has been an interesting group. Every single game that's chalked up has got some kind of intrigue or matchup that we're keen to see.
Nothing but net on the first one. As the New Zealand faithful chanting away Saw them doing a full lap around the arena before this game with their New Zealand flag, much to the delight of the Chinese fans here.
Oh, it was wonderful to see. They made a loop around the arena to get to the Montenegrin fans, and the Montenegrin fans were just so, you know, they embraced them when they got over there. Wonderful it's to see, and basketball is a sport, that's what it does for fans.
Here's Dublovic. Also Derek Needham checking into the game for Montenegro.
Yeah, the mismatch there, Rusbac being left with Dublovic, and it's not a high post situation that Rusbac will want to be left in. There's no chance here to stop Dublovic getting to the basket.
I believe that, yeah, Rusbac off-ball foul. We've seen a number of those now. We're already in the penalty for New Zealand.
Yeah, 3:50 to go still in the first quarter. That's a concern for New Zealand. If that's the only way they're able to stop the Montenegrin bigs, it could be a long night. Just a few Dublovic fans in,
just a few.
the crowd. I'd be impressed if they've travelled all the way from Montenegro with that banner in their hand luggage, explaining that one away at airport security.
I had a chance to speak to some of the supporters before the game started. Some of them came from as far away as Chicago, which is literally the other side of the planet.
You can't fly much further.
No. As makes good on the other free throw. 21-20, New Zealand still with the lead. 3:46 to go here in the first, as Shea Ili guarded by Derek Needham at the top here. Ili, jumper himself, going to get the foul, going to the line. Looks like he might have gotten tapped on the shooting hand.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup. Ili against Needham, two similar kind of players, all about explosive, change of directions, change of pace, and Ili just gets the slight better of Needham there, and Needham forced into the foul.
Well, they always talk about it, Mark. As soon as you can kind of beat your defender on the hip, as soon as you have that, you can almost kind of do whatever you want depending on what the rotation of the defense is.
And that's the key. You know, with someone like Ili, you're going to struggle to stay in front of him no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So it's key that someone's rotating to block that lane, just to halt him enough for you to be able to recover to get back into the game.
Even we talked about 2 days ago, Garcia, of course, being a defensive stalwart for Brazil. Even he had some trouble staying in front of Ili in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, Ili came alive in the fourth quarter and really brought New Zealand back into it. It looked like it was done and dusted. But then, you know, they were back within 8 points going into the last couple of minutes. And that was really off the back of the likes of Ty Webster and Shea Ili using their explosive power.
And speak of the devil, as we're looking at it right now, both players, and there's the steal. Ty Webster trying to save it, gets it to Ili. Impressive defensive effort there, as Ili's now going to reset with 20 seconds on the shot clock. And another foul on the ground.
See, that's great to see. We talked about this in game day one with regards to New Zealand. They had this 1-2-1-1 press, and they didn't use it until the game was pretty much done, and it drove me crazy because it worked almost instantly. Great to see them using it in quarter one.
I can imagine.
Just throw it in for a couple of possessions, mix it up, disrupt, and then go back to your usual standard set defense.
And you know, testament to Coach Pollinare. That's tape work. That's time in the film room, looking at what works and what doesn't. And as you can see, they implemented it almost immediately in this close game. As we get back to the action, 4-2 in the post now. Nice spin move there, up in with a sky hook that would make Kareem proud.
That's a beautiful move. Being able to spin efficiently both ways is something that's really difficult for players. Usually they're good at spinning either baseline onto the top. They're not happy doing that both ways.
Lost start. We got another offensive foul, this time on Dublovic. Backing into 4-2. 4-2 getting a bunch of pats on the backs from his teammate.
Yeah, and ultimately when you've got someone like Dublovic, yeah, that's an offensive foul. He's just pushed his shoulders back into him and floored him. But with Dublovic, he's going to be a physical player. He's going to continue to do that the whole game. And there's a point where you just have to take a stand and take the charge. And that's kind of opened up for the officials now. They're going to be looking for it. But Dublovic has also said, please look at the other end as well. I think the same thing's happening to me.
As Needham is at the very end, as we take a look at Coach Mitrovic, he was not too impressed either with the call.
He got his final warning from the officials. Any more talking and you're getting a tech. And I wonder if that will keep him quiet. Possibly not.
I doubt it. There's 4-2. Nice steal there by Dublovic on the other end, though. Getting a small amount of revenge. Bringing it back up. There's going to be a whistle, though, and the foul is going to be again on Rusbac.
And New Zealand are starting to rack up the fouls now. This would be a concern if I was Coach Hanare. Corey Webster, Tom Abercrombie, Ethan Rusbatch, all on 2 fouls, and we've still got 2.5 minutes left in his first quarter.
He was losing it on the sideline there after that happened. He was saying, you know, I can't repeat some of the words he was saying.
Yeah, possibly not.
As a substitution was made. And back into the game now is number 20, Jordan Nartai.
Yeah, Dublovic in the line. He's not a big man you want to send to the line. Shot 75% in game day 1. Shot 78% through all the qualifiers. Yeah, he's a big man that you don't want to send to the line.
That's just one thing we're seeing consistently about this Montenegrin team. They're so technically sound. Almost don't want to send anyone to the line. As Illy. Here's Illy now with Needham. Oh, Delaney, nice, great ball movement there. Oh, look at Delaney all over the place, still trying to fight for it, but Dublovic comes down with it.
And that's just an example of why New Zealand, you know, had 35 rebounds in the first game. They do not give up on offensive boards or defensive boards.
That was Radoncic with the ball, getting his first touch of the game. Popovic tries to find it inside, loses a handle on it. Oh, there he is again. Radoncic kicks it out though. No good on the jump shot was Bealitza, excuse me. And here's Illy, losing the defender on skates, up and in, but can't finish.
What a wonderful play, just quick feet, quick hands, little body shake. Left Radoncic sliding across the floor. Look at that crossover. Wow. That's one Radoncic will hit delete when he sees that come through on the scouting reports.
Oh yeah. Well, the crowd loving it. The New Zealand faithful, the Tall Blacks are out flying in the early going here. (4-2) good on the first. 1:56 remaining here in the first quarter. 4-point lead for New Zealand.
Yeah, 4-2 was one of the shining lights in that game day 1 for New Zealand. 17 points, 5 boards, and shot 83% from the free throw line.
The thing I love about him, he's such an old school big, as he misses the free throw, unfortunately, for the Tall Blacks. But he's also not afraid to step out and hit that mid-range. I'm a big fan of his form.
Yeah, he's certainly worked on it. It's a part of his game that was a weakness, and he's spent an awful lot of hours in the gym to improve that shooting form, and the percentages have rolled in from that.
Here's Needham, trying to find the open man. Oh, nice spin move there. Oh, wow. Bealitza, speaking of somebody practicing moves, that's a fact. But here comes New Zealand right away. 4-2 in the post again. Trying to find the inside. We're going to call a foul. Where was it? It's going to be on Needham. Just seems like any time 4-2 is getting that ball in the post, they're not hesitating. They're going right at him.
And the thing you've got at the moment is Montenegro have got their second string front court on. So the combination of Bielica and Radovic and Radoncic to a certain degree, they're not as strong or as capable of stopping someone like 4-2 barreling their way to the basket, which means people are having to help, which is opening up that outside opportunities a little bit more. Needham there picking up his second foul as well, so that's got him a trip to the bench.
Both teams now in the penalty here in this first quarter. You knew it was going to be a bit of a war in the paint. Both of these teams thrive off their physicality, just different styles of it, so to speak. I think we're going to have a Montenegro timeout.
No, technical foul.
Oh, no. Oh, it's Coach Zvezdan Mitrovic. Well, we did say it was unlikely.
He had his warning. He can't complain. They did say to him, don't talk anymore. And he's still talking to the table. He needs to be careful. He really doesn't want to get tossed out of the game. That's the last thing that Montenegro need.
Webster good on the free throw. One extra point. Extra point that Montenegro would prefer not to have on the board. But, you know, all that being said, as somebody who's from North American basketball, you like to see your coach standing up for your players.
Yeah, and sometimes it fires the team up.
Yeah. And there's going to be a offensive foul on Radoncic.
Yeah, that was a good stand, good defense by New Zealand, but you feel they're starting to learn that they can't just keep reaching in. You know, they need to use their feet more than they do their hands.
That was such a Shea Illy move. Set his feet, just take the contact, take the punishment. He doesn't, I don't think he feels pain.
No, you have a feeling he does, and he's quite happy to go in amongst the trees as often as he possibly can, and that's a credit to him.
There's Webster. Trying to work off a screen. Oh, great job there, though, by the defense. Still with the ball, though, inside to 4-2. Nice finish. Popovic going to bring it up now with 51 seconds remaining. New Zealand's built themselves a bit of a lead here, largest of the game for them.
Yeah, and look at the score as well. 31 points in the first quarter. That's a great effort from New Zealand.
Shot goes up, no good. Long rebound goes to Illy. Illy on the fast break now, surrounded by white shirts. Webster, oh, another steal. Fast break opportunity now for Montenegro, up and in, and they're gonna get the foul. Excellent effort there by Ivanovic.
And this, for me, is the key. Ivanovic has been out of the game for too long. He's only played 5 minutes of this first quarter, and he's had a great first 5 minutes. You know, he's got 5 points to his name, he's got a rebound, he's got 2 assists. I think he sat on the bench too long. He was one of the sparks to start the game for Montenegro, and you kind of need to play on that.
You can see just the contact, the pace and speed at which they're going at each other. As you can see there, a nice find and feed by Ty Webster into 4-2. An excellent combination there we've seen a number of times in this first quarter. I think we're in for some beautiful basketball the rest of this way.
Yeah, if the next 30 minutes is like the first 10, we are certainly going to be given a treat here in Nanjing.
31-26, 30 seconds remaining, 6 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. We'll see if New Zealand can pull something together in what could be their last possession of the quarter. Illy with the ball.
Yeah, they'll look to slow it down. Don't expect him to take a shot to the last 5 seconds of their shot clock.
Webster. Gets it inside, Smith-Milner. Illy. Illy taking another walk amongst the trees. Didn't get it that time. Fast break opportunity. Here comes Popovic. Popovic kicking it out. Ivanovic going to throw it up. Ooh, just misses. And that's going to do it here in this first quarter. A very entertaining first quarter of basketball as Montenegro trailing New Zealand 31-26. And Mark, some thoughts on what we've just seen there in this first quarter. Very entertaining one, might I add.
Yeah, unbelievably so, but we were expecting it. Both these teams play with such passion and pride, and they've hit this second game day for them with exactly that. I watched some of their trainings yesterday. Montenegro started their training session with a team huddle where they basically, you felt they were saying, right, yes, you know, the game is gone. Let's forget that game. Let's move on to the next. And New Zealand, I've never seen a team so comfortable. And that's showing, you know, you see the highlights here. Some of the moves, the opening move, the backdoor pass. That's a team that feels like it's on a winning streak, not coming off the back of a loss. And 31 points after 10 minutes, that's huge for New Zealand.
You can see, you know, both of these teams coming in focused. They know that this is a winnable game for both of them. We're seeing, and the shooting percentages, as you alluded to, are proving it. And I mean, what more can we say? Both teams starting off hot, finding their open spots, very physical in the paint. What do you think would be some of the keys right now for Montenegro, maybe to take the lead going into the second quarter?
Well, I think the first thing they've got to be is breathe a sigh of relief that they actually started scoring points. After only getting 16 in that first half against Greece, they'll be, you know, relieved that they've got a respectable score on the board for the first quarter, and that will give them their confidence base. It's going to be interesting how they go. The success so far seems to have been through some of their backcourt players, the like of Ivanovic. Whereas on paper, their success should come from Vucevic and Dublovic, so we'll have to wait and see.
And just, of course, don't forget to download the official app, available on Apple iTunes and also available on Google Play. As we alluded to at the beginning of the game, a lot of great insight there as we get back to the action. 31-26, triple, right where we left off. Excellent play there.
Yeah, and that's the key. We spoke about it before. Bielica enables Montenegro to stretch the floor a bit more.
Ty Webster tries to find it inside. Bielica right there again. Here's a fast break opportunity now. This is Popovic. Petar Popovic. Crossover. Shot goes up. Fading. You can see he was just sliding away a little bit. But the rebound up and in. Nope. No good. And Ty Webster with the rebound.
New Zealand do really well to get their backcourt players involved in the rebounding battle as well. Ty Webster there in the paint working hard to grab the rebound.
And we're going to see, I believe, an out-of-bounds call there as Illy was trying to, his back foot stepped out.
Yeah, he turned the gas on and accidentally stepped out of bounds. He's so quick sometimes, he's too quick for his own shoes.
Here's Popovic. He was the X factor for Montenegro and Greece in that Greek game. There's Ivanovic kicking it back out. Bjelica, no good. I think that might have been his first miss of the game outside.
Yeah, he's come off the bench and put in a good shift so far. He is a different kind of player for Montenegro.
4-2 on Bjelica. Tries to go into the double team. Gets rewarded for his efforts.
And that's the trade-off they've got. So they bring someone like this second string of Todorovic and Bjelica into the game, but you lose that interior defensive presence when you've got Vucevic, Dublevic, that physical body, and straight away we see the change up, and in comes Dublevic to make that difference.
I'm a bit surprised that 4-2 decided to go make the spin move to his left, as it seemed like he had him dead to rights on the inside track there if he had finished, if he had spun right and finished left.
Yeah, sometimes you overcomplicate it as a big. You keep going and think, oh, there's going to be a bit more space if I do one more move, one more fake, one more, jab step. And sometimes it literally is catch the ball and go. That's sometimes your best option.
Substitution, I believe Tom Abercrombie back on the floor now, team captain for New Zealand. And he's in for Smith Milner. Pledger, number 35, also into the game now. 4-2, no good on the first free throw. Little play on words. What number is he? 42. How do you pronounce his name? 4-2.
Certainly helps us.
Absolutely. Sehovic gets it away, and here's Tom Abercrombie, kicks it over into the corner. Webster inside to 4-2. 4-2 about to go up, getting hacked. He's going to go to the line again, and this time it seems it's 4-2 having all the fun at the charity stripe this game for New Zealand.
But it's all coming from the defensive pressure. Again, they've gone into their full court press. They've gone into their 1-2-1-1 press, and instantly Montenegro can't cope with it. And that's the key with it. They're not staying in it, because once you stay in it, they work out to break it, and that's it, done for the game. If you keep dropping it in one or two plays, you're going to profit from it, and straight away they're profiting from it. They've been to the line, 2-3 times now from that press.
As a coach back home, I am definitely going to keep that one in mind. Might have to steal this one.
It's funny, the 1-2-1-1 press is really effective as long as your guys know how to run it. If one of them drops out of place, you're going to get hammered. You'll get broken down so quickly and scored on. That's the problem with it, but New Zealand seem to have it down.
Here they are, 2-2-1 again. 4-2, almost there. But it's broken this time. Sehovic for three, knocks it down, and right on cue. Montenegro seem to have figured it out, but they're caught napping, and unfortunately, Alex Pledger could not finish at the rim from a beautiful pass by Ty Webster.
Yeah, it was good vision. Pass probably just maybe, 20, 30 centimeters too low for him. He would like it slightly higher so he didn't have to bring it up, just catch it and throw it down maybe. But good vision and a little bit of a sleep there from the Montenegrin defense. It's tough to see how they didn't see someone the size of Alex Pledger sneaking on the back door.
Well, that's New Zealand's calling card. We've seen it time and again in their practices and how they played against Brazil. What kept them in the game against Brazil for about 3 quarters was that ability to consistently run up the floor and get those open looks. As Dublevic now is going to bring it up in a rare point guard role, and he's going to get called for a hack there. See who it is.
Yeah, that one was on Ty Webster. Just his first, though, so not a concern.
Here we are, Ivanovic kicks it out. Dublevic for three. Just rims out, and Ty Webster with the rebound. Here over to his brother, Corey. Corey now looking for an option. Oh, 4-2, he's got all sorts of time. Knocks it down. What a clean form that is that we just were talking about last quarter.
Yeah, and that's his perfect range. That's literally a training shot for him. That's a nice catch and shoot for mid-range. Should be a high percentage shot for someone like Isaac 4-2.
His easiest shot of the day is on the other end. It looks like he's going to get called with the foul, and he immediately goes to Coach Inari saying, "Take me out."
Yeah, he's played a fair few minutes already. He's in his 10th minute out of a possible 12, so he's probably just blowing a little bit. It's a big ask to play that much defense against guys the size of Dublic and Vucevic.
That just shows, though, the unity of this team. When you see a player at this level going, "Coach, it's time for me to take a rest." You can tell that's just a testament to the communication and brotherhood you see in this team.
Oh yeah, because a lot of players will see it as a weakness. They won't want to show to their coach that maybe they are blowing a little bit and need a break. But you know, New Zealand certainly are a team that will look after each other, and they don't, won't make any judgment there. He's done the right thing. If he's struggling, time to step out.
We are back in the action. Inbound, and Vucevic back in the game here. See if he can get himself going. Little baby jump hook, no good. Wide left. Corey Webster fighting for it, and it's going to be Montenegro ball. Webster can't believe it.
He's not happy, but Dublovic certainly is.
I wonder why. Take a look on the outside there. Ooh, he might have had a case. Here's Dublovic. Ivanovic. Guarded by Ili, works off the screen. He's going to shoot it himself. Oh, so clean.
Ivanovic certainly has turned up to play today. That's him up to 9 points now, joint leading all scorers.
Shot goes up by Delaney. Just a little bit strong, but Vucevic coming down with it. As the Orlando Magic forward able to get it over to his point guard, Ivanovic. Kick off in the corner. Here's Popovic. Kicks it back out. Sehovic for three again. Just rims out. He's just been feeling it. Even his misses are looking good.
Yeah, you have a feeling if Montenegro start finding form from the perimeter, they could put on a run of scoring pretty quickly.
Webster attempts to harden step back. Nothing happening in the bottom of the post there, and it's going to be a jump ball. And that's going to be New Zealand ball. So they get away with one there.
Yeah, it's what they're looking for, though. It's what New Zealand work on in their training sessions, trying to create that mismatch either at the top or in the big in the post. And it's actually what Montenegro worked at defensively yesterday. So no real surprises. That's part of the New Zealand plan.
Here comes the inbound. Ili gets called for a 5-second violation, and the Montenegrin bench is loving it.
Yeah, Ivanovic absolutely pumped for that one. Flexing and screaming at his teammates on the bench.
And we saw a slight, I almost saw a slight crack of a smile from Coach Mitrovic.
No, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. It's not his birthday.
And here's Popovic bringing it up. This, of course, is Alexa Popovic. And now Ivanovic, guarded by Ili, kicks it out. Vucevic now, looking for options. Ivanovic.
Zone defense for New Zealand now. It's interesting to see they've moved to that. Is it going to open up shooting opportunities?
Dublovic, nice little baby hook there. Soft touch under the rim. Tie game. Shea Ili. Delaney works off the screen. We're going to get an off-ball foul there. And it looks like it's going to be, yep, that's going to be on Alexa Popovic.
It's interesting to see on that last possession, New Zealand dropping into the zone where you'd expect them to give up shots, but they gave up a hook shot in the end. But yeah, as we see the replay with Popovic just getting caught out with a little jab step and a backdoor cut from Abercrombie.
And we've got a timeout by New Zealand. And I think well needed at this point. Montenegro's worked themselves back into this game. Tie game now after having a 7-point lead. I don't want to say squander just because of how well both teams have been shooting the ball, but I can imagine that there's definitely some things to talk over.
Yeah, I think so. I think Coach Hanari will want to talk through quite a lot in this timeout, so it's going to be interesting to hear exactly what he has to say.
Hey, bow down on both bigs, right? I am looking at that high-low. So if they're walking you in, you've got to separate, get around in front, right? We can sink in off 10, can't sink it so much off 6. Baseline ball, let's go 25. 25. Sideline, I think. The ball's down there. Go! Kick the ball! Kick the balls, it's down there. Down on the baseline. 25 there, Corey. If they're playing you like this, you see the screen, so Robbie.
Yeah, Ivanovic has had such a good start to this game. He's already got himself up to 9 points personal, and he really has been that spark for Montenegro offensively, which they were lacking in their first game.
As you can see, Ivanovic, even right now, as we zoom in on him, directing traffic, letting Popovic know, no big deal, brother, we got you.
And it's great. It's great to see that team camaraderie is building within the Montenegro team.
Getting back to the action now. I believe the inbound's going to be on the baseline. And it's going to be Shea Illy on the baseline. Coach Mitrovic getting himself ready as if he was going to be in the play. Here we are. Webster, guarded by Ivanovic. Switch on Dublevic. Webster's probably going to look to try and break him down. Yes, he does. Up and just can't get the roll. Dublevic with the rebound.
It's the move they want. They're not going to keep, that's keep shooting it to Corey. That's going to be the instruction from the bench. That's exactly what they want. They want him isolated on a big man.
Ivanovic, guarded by Webster. Looking for an option on the inside, gets it to the big man, Vucevic, kicks it wide open, Dublevic for three, just can't get it to drop. Big rebound there by the team captain.
Yeah, Abercrombie, he didn't perform too well on the scoring end, but got 7 boards in the first game against Brazil. So he's still contributing even if the scoring's not coming from him at the moment.
Abercrombie's saying, no matter what, I'm going to get an opportunity to get a shot off here as he just drives fearlessly to the basket. Those are some big men he had to go through.
Yeah, it's a brave move to make, that's for sure. But it's a good tactic if you're a scorer or you're someone that has to start contributing points to your team. You're struggling with your jumper, you're struggling driving to the basket. Sometimes you just kind of break that seal from the free throw line. Obviously missing a first isn't great. Fingers crossed for him, he can hit the second.
Makes good. Will that be the shot that gets him going as the press is back on? Different formation here, and a steal. Here comes Webster. He's going to kick it for three. Corey Webster. What a shot.
That's an impressive shot. That's really brave as well. That shows how much confidence you've got in yourself. You steal the ball and you step back out to shoot the three because you trust your own abilities that much.
We've got another timeout this time around as we take a look at that. Just poetry in motion for him.
But again, the press defense working perfectly. Coach Hanare has to take a huge amount of credit for that.
And we've got a quick timeout here from Montenegro. We'll see what Coach Mitrovic can draw up for his team.
Ako treba Vučku uvati daje pas Vučku i dođe do učenja i uđe u fist. Mnogo se ovdje primamo loptu. Alo bre, dobro je bilo bre sine, sve bre. Suvade. I fist. Ajmo igra, ajde!
Yeah, Corey Webster with that three, it's just a run. He's having a World Cup to remember for sure. Opening play of the game was that backdoor pass, and he's already taken himself up to an impressive 12 points, 3 assists. He's only played 8 minutes, but he's a man with a huge amount of confidence right now.
Absolutely, and you think every single time though you've seen him get most of those shots off. It's always been involved with, you can't lose the fact that the bigs have been doing a great job. Shea Illy with the steal over to Webster again, and we'll just have to hold that thought as Webster now goes in, kicks it right out. Rob Lowe, right where he wants to be. That's his money zone. That's his hot zone.
Yeah, Lowe's back-to-back three there, Webster and then Lowe, and that's extended the lead to 7 now.
5:09 to go in this one. New Zealand's regained their 7-point lead, largest of the game, second one they've had so far, just over 5 minutes remaining. Popovic goes in. Illy's going to get called with the foul, and Illy, a little too physical for his own good that time.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is what they were doing at the start of the game, which was causing them problems because they were picking up cheap fouls.
Take a look here. Great steal there by Smith-Webster, and then, or Smith-Milner, excuse me. And then Webster kicking it out and low. Just, this team knows each other so well. Here we are. Popovic. Petar Popovic. Another, almost a steal there by Webster. Or excuse me, that was Shea Illy that almost came away with the steal. They're flying all over the place, Mark.
They are. It's one of those, when you're in a team and you get a couple of steals, the energy levels for your defensive effort just seem to go through the roof, and we're seeing that here for New Zealand.
Ivanovic. Right in the face of Corey Webster as the shot clock is expiring.
He is carrying Montenegro at the moment on his own shoulders. 12 points now for Ivanovic.
Webster. Oh, nice find inside. Milner pauses for a moment. Webster gonna get it back. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Still got some time. He's gets the switch he wants. Step back. Oh, almost had his best James Harden impression there, but New Zealand still with the ball. Webster Kicks it back out. Smith-Milner for three. Hand right in his face. Can't get it. Low, under the basket. New Zealand dominating the offensive boards, and Milner gonna go to the line after nearly posterizing the defender.
Yeah, Smith-Milner looks like he's hurt himself as he's landed, though. He's in a heap on the baseline at the moment. That will be worrying for New Zealand, because he's been a very influential figure. As we see the replay, he goes up to throw it down on Vucevic, and I'm not sure if that's a tough call on Vucevic. That looked to be a fair bit of the ball, but both big men taking it to the rim.
And Vucevic, one thing I absolutely admire about Vucevic, though, is that he's the guy that, you know, most accomplished guy out of this entire gym. He doesn't care. No fear whatsoever. He will take on anybody that's trying to attack the rim.
No, he's a very humble guy as well. I've seen him in training and around his teammates. There's no air of arrogance about him at all. He wants to fit into the kind of national team. He didn't play in the qualifiers, so he's keen to kind of almost to make him change to get into the national team, which is wonderful to see. I was saying to you earlier, though, that might be slightly of the downfall, though. Maybe he does need to have a little bit more of a swagger and arrogance about him and impose himself on the national team a little bit more and demand the ball a bit more, because his talent is at another level.
It looks like Smith-Milner is going to be okay. As but he is going to come out. There's going to be a substitution into the game. It is Ethan Rusbach, and he's the one that's actually going to take the free throws for him.
And that's why they've probably put Rusbach into the game on an injury. You can pick who you sub in. I imagine they consider Rusbach to be their best free throw shooter. He shot 71% across the 3 qualifying games that he played, so not brilliant, but a pretty steady away free throw shooter.
I'm also a big fan of his setup in the corner, consistently very effective against Brazil. He was another big factor that allowed them to keep pace with a team that had a number of NBA players on that roster. No good on the second, but comes in himself and a finish! And that's how you make an impact when you step into a game.
That's absolutely criminal. That's absolutely criminal. If you're the top man on that, you step across onto the shooter. There is no way a shooter grabs a rebound. In no game should that ever happen. I'm sure Coach Mitrovic will be having words.
Works inside. Vucevic now. We'll see if he's going to get started on low. Double team comes in. Needham. 2 seconds on the shot clock. They need time. Fall away 3. No good. Rebound. Dublevic gets it. Finishes it away. Shea Illy to Webster. Corey Webster going to work off the screen. Gets it inside to Low with Needham all over him. But what a steal by Derek Needham. Fast break opportunity. Popovich up and in. Much to the delight of the crowd here in Nanjing. Some excellent team defense and finishing in transition by Montenegro.
Yeah, huge energy change in the whole gym. You can feel it in the crowd, let alone just on the floor. It seems to have ramped up a few gears. Both teams' physicality and speed that they're playing has certainly ramped up, and that's great for the game. It's great to see this back and forth.
Look at that defense there. Look at just a perfect strip by Needham. Fast break opportunity.
And you saw as Lowe went to the bench, Coach Hanare screaming at him, hold the ball with 2 hands, what are you doing? So they know how important every single possession is.
Switching, all right, look high-low. All right, so off that switch, hit Robbie, have a good look high-low. Shooters get wide, all right, shooters get wide. If it's not on, we're coming back for a boomerang. Good, all right, good, here we go. Let's go.
Just reiterating what he went through in training yesterday with the guys. They're looking for that pick and roll. They're looking for the mismatch. But what they actually look for in that situation, they wanted Rob Lowe to hold on to the ball, let the double team from Needham to come down, then put the ball back up to the top. At that point, you've got the defense in disarray. A couple of quick passes, you're going to get the open jumper.
Excellent breakdown there, Mark. Thank you very much. As Illy guarded by Needham. Battle of the 5s there. As Ty Webster now with the ball. Low, he's going to let it fly again. First miss from deep from him. Montenegro now with an opportunity to cut into this lead, maybe make it a 1-possession game. Popovich, Petar Popovich, denies the screen, going to go up himself. Referee says no foul. Ty Webster, though, is going to get called for the travel. And
yeah,
Derek
it's good
Needham,
defense. Great defense by Needham. He's made exactly the right call. He knew where Webster was going to go. He knew he wasn't going to get to the ball, but he knew he could get in front of Webster. And it was either going to be a travel or probably a charge.
excellent defense. Even gave the referee there a quick tap on the hip going, appreciate you, appreciate you.
It's good to tell the referees when they do a good job. Players get told it often enough.
We've got a substitution on the floor. We've got Sead Shehovic back into the game, number 8 for Montenegro. Needham now works inside. Vucevic again. A rather quiet night again for him. Kicks it back out though. Here's Ivanovic for 3 off the screen. No good. Here we are, 2:30 to go here in the half. Shea Illy bringing it up. Gets it inside to 4-2. 4-2 guarded by Dublevic. Illy. Needham all over him. Now it's Dublevic on him. Illy, keep going. And there's going to be a foul. Montenegro wants a travel call, but we could see there was a bit of contact before the amount of steps that were taken.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He was lucky. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card, because what's he going to do at this point?
Yeah.
He's in amongst the tree without an outlet pass, so he's kind of lucky they reached in and overplayed the defense. But again, we're in such a critical phase of the game now. 5-point lead for New Zealand, just over 2 minutes to play in the first half. It's phases like this that make or break teams winning.
Both teams in the penalty at this point, so everything's going to be a trip to the line. Coaches say it all the time, make your free throws. It'll be the difference, and in this one, it most likely will be.
And you have a feeling that man there, Shea Illy, and his 50th cap today, it's going to be so important for him, and him hitting the free throws as well.
Well, he's lined up for a huge game should he continue the way that he's been performing. He's had a great World Cup so far.
Yeah, straight away, he's up to 6 points, 3 boards, 3 assists in just 12 minutes of play. He's filling the box score.
As the press is now once again on, Mark, see if Montenegro can break it. Clear offensive foul, clear as day. Needham extending the hand, and even extending the hand with his hand open.
Yeah, just a crazy thing to do. It's a frustration thing. You've got someone sprawling all over you. You're just frustrated and you want to clear them away. It's almost an instinct. It wasn't exactly a high-tempo press either. You know, it wasn't an over-the-top press like they have been. He could have probably dribbled his way around it reasonably easily.
You look at that replay as well. Illy with the biggest smile on his face. He knew right away as soon as the whistle went what was going to happen. Kicks it over.
That's the 10th turnover for Montenegro, though.
Yeah, speaking of turnovers, good steal there by Dublevic in the post. Here's Needham
for
now.
New Zealand as well.
That's right. Needham up and in. No foul, no contact. New Zealand off and running again. Here's Webster. Back out to Illy. Illy finding some open space. Mid-range jumper. Rims out though. Vucevic with the rebound. Ivanovic bringing it up with 19 seconds on the shot clock. 1:40 to go here in this half. Montenegro going to need to start cutting in some room here. See if they can enter the half on a positive note. Dublevic for 3. Just rims out. 4-2 to Webster. Webster gonna break down his defender, kicks it back out. Lowe's gonna get called with the out of bounds. That's something that's so hard to miss.
It's absolutely infuriating as well, making that kind of mistake. You should know where the lines are, you should know where you are. 11th turnover now for New Zealand. But interesting also to see on the New Zealand defensive end, they're causing Montenegro issues because they're constantly swapping their defense. They're going from different zone presses, they're going into a 2-3 zone, a 3-2 zone. That's what Montenegro need to learn how to break.
Ćoša. Znači, Ćoša prenesi loptu preko Bojana Ođe koji je kraj, jaki close out, centar u leđe koji je ovdje centralni, vučku centru, ti široko.
Daj blok ovdje, obični zona. Padneš, vežeš ovdje, pasom dobije, brzi pasom.
Samo tak da padne koje.
We're going to watch some of the highlights of 4-2 now, and he's had a great first half, but he really is that kind of warrior. He really embodies a kind of Maori spirit, and his opening stats, 10 points, 3 boards, and assists to his name in 12 minutes of action. And you also feel sometimes with the momentum that he creates, he kind of almost is the heart of New Zealand. When he's playing and working hard, you feel that it brings up other team members as well, which is, you know, great to have players like that in your team.
There's Isaac for 2. 10 points, 3 rebounds, as you can see on your screen there. Couldn't have said it any better myself, Mark. He's just been the heart of this defense from the Tall Blacks. Here's Dublovic, Ivanovic, or excuse me, that's Vucevic. There's Ivanovic, gets it inside to Dublovic, but there's going to be a foul on the ground there.
Yeah, he's asking for a continuation play, but the officials are saying, no, it was on the ground, but you're in the penalty, so you get your 2, but it's difficult as well. He's hooking his arm around the back of Lowe. Lowe may have his arms hooked in as well, but Dublovic needs to be careful. He can't hook too hard.
Still a penalty, though. Rare miss by Dublovic at the line.
One of the high-profile names for Montenegro, though, playing obviously for Valencia since 2012 in the ACB, one of the best leagues in the world, and you can see that, how he's developed since that time and become a very, very impressive big man.
Here's Illy bringing it up. He's guarded by Ivanovic. Kicks it over to Ty Webster. Illy flying through the wing. Can't find anything though. Oh, there's Webster. A little bit of a defensive breakdown, and the easiest 2 points that Ty Webster's going to get all night.
Yeah, and again, it just came from the kind of confidence that they knew they were going to get a shot. They had the patience, and the finger roll is a lovely shot to see.
Shajovic gets it over to Vucevic. Back over. Oh, there's going to be another technical on head coach Zvezdan Mitrovic of Montenegro.
You'd think he'd learned from the first one, but apparently not. He's taking his frustrations out too much onto the officials, so I have a feeling, I'm not sure, we'll have to wait to see what the referees do, but that might be him out of the game. It looks like it is. He's making his way back to the change rooms. He's been thrown out of the game on 2 technical fouls. That's not what Montenegro needed. He's having a quick word with the commissioner before he leaves in a shake of hands. Mitrovic makes his way back to the change rooms. 31.6 seconds left in the first half. Ooh, you can see the boiling frustration on Mitrovic. Needs to be careful that he's not sanctioned further.
As you can see though, the crowd behind us, heavy group of supporters here from Montenegro, giving him a round of applause for his passion for the game.
And he's so critical for Montenegro as well. He really is. He's the mastermind behind what they've been doing. It'll be interesting to see if anything changes now for Montenegro.
There's Shajovic. Excuse me, Shajovic, that is. It's it inside to Ivanovic. Going to be an easy foul there. Once again, Shea Illy just over. You can see Ivanovic getting Illy getting his 3rd personal. Ivanovic, he's starting to understand now how Illy defends, and he's completely exploiting his overeagerness. Just easy.
Yeah, he is, and this is the problem. Illy's probably used to going against players that aren't as quick as him. And now he's going against Ivanovic, who has got the same foot speed as him. So he has the ability to react, move his feet quickly to draw that foul. And Illy will need to adjust it, otherwise he's going to foul out the game pretty quickly.
2nd straight time he's went at his right, or excuse me, Illy's left hip. So he's gone right. 2nd straight time. First time hit him in the shoulder. 2nd time, this time hit him on the hip. And we'll see if Shea Illy will make the necessary adjustment. And may not have a chance, though, before the end of this half, as Corey Webster will take him out.
Yeah, that free throw sees Ivanovic now up to 14 points, leading all scorers. Very, very impressive indeed. He's certainly come to lead his team here.
Ty Webster bringing it up now, guarded by Ivanovic. Almost steals it away there. 14 seconds, almost no difference. Shot clock is off, 11 seconds now. Webster, we'll see what he can bring up. Works off the screen, goes up and in himself, up and in. What a finish, Ty Webster with 2 seconds remaining. 3-quarter attempt, no good. And that's gonna do it for our first half here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup Group F action. New Zealand leading 53-44. What an exciting half of basketball that was, Mark.
Yeah, an awesome first half of basketball. Again, another high scoring one. We saw a fair bit of scoring yesterday, but 44-53 at the half. Both teams can be happy with their offensive production, but both teams really do need to go back and work on that defensive contribution. New Zealand, however, they have a little bit of a secret weapon there in their zone press, and it's worked numerous times, forcing the turnovers. But Montenegro, they refuse to go away. They only trail by 9. For me, the biggest thing is what impact is the ejection of Coach Mitrovic going to play on Montenegro now, though?
I mean, and just the number one thing we could try and take a look at real quick that I've been impressed with so far as we take a look at the top scorers, Corey Webster. It's picking up right where he left off, Mark.
Yeah, he doesn't stop, that's for sure. Obviously got 12 points in the first game. He's on 12 points already. Expect him to beat that, but probably more impressively and a little bit more under the radar was Ivanovic with 14 in that first half.
For sure, and of course, take a look at 4-2. Very impressive effort from him. But ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We will be back with second half action here on the FIBA Basketball World Cup. This is Group F action. New Zealand leading Montenegro 53-44.
Again, throws it away. And now Uzo looking to go coast to coast. Big rejection from Nicholas Brasino.
Not in this house. I mean, that's just great hustle. Brasino, good behind the back.
Nice pass. Oriola with the throwdown.
Great pass, look away, paused everybody with it, and Oriola going to a spot where he would be open.
Fourth quarter underway, and
Steal.
good defense by Sun. And it leads to the opportunity by Ty.
Chase down block by Panitka.
Here's De La Valle and Tessitore.
Oh, look at that. Back. Oh, Brooks just cleans it up with the putback. Dean, I've got to tell you, that is the play of the game.
Oh,
Well, we got time and space now. Oh, beautiful pass. Up and away. Throws it down.
And Mitsic, what a pass, what a steal.
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
And we'd like to welcome everybody back here to beautiful Nanjing, China. This is second half action of Group F between Montenegro and New Zealand. New Zealand leading 53-44 at this time. And Ryan Greco joining you here on play-by-play, joined by Mark Mills on color commentary. And Mark, I mean, a very entertaining first half, a very newsworthy first half. I think, of course, we have to just get started with the loss of head coach Mitrovic for Montenegro and how that may affect them going into the second half.
Yeah, firstly, you wouldn't expect a coach of that level who's got so much coaching experience under his belt to make that kind of mistake of picking up a second technical foul, particularly so early in the game. I think it is going to cost them. I've seen them train. He's one of those more authoritative head coaches. He doesn't delegate to his assistants as much as Coach Paul Henares, for example. I think it is going to impact him. The key is more on the floor. The experienced players like Vucevic, Dublevic, Popovic, how do they step up and take control?
And also, with that being said as well, just switching over to New Zealand very quickly, as we take a look at Corey Webster, once again, just like against Brazil, that first half, hot start, shooting deep from three, no problems whatsoever finding his rhythm. Can he keep it up, though, in this second half and seal the win?
You have a feeling he can. The game is now pitched. Is it going to be a shootout? And we're seeing Ivanovic now. Is it going to come down to Webster v Ivanovic? Who's going to end up with the biggest box score is going to give their team the win? That's how the game is shaping at the moment. The front courts of Vucevic and Dublevic seems to be cancelling out the likes of Fortu. So maybe it is a backcourt battle that we've got ahead of us.
And of course, above all else, I mean, of course, taking nothing away from the ability of Ivanovic, we have to ask, where is the man of the hour when it comes to this game specifically? The $100 million man himself from the Orlando Magic, Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah, Vucevic, 4 points, 3 boards. He's already conceded 2 fouls. His brain doesn't seem to be in the game. It's tough to know what the reason is. But as I alluded to earlier, I just have a feeling maybe he needs to have a bit more confidence, a bit more aggression, a bit more demanding his teammates to get the ball in the low post. You know, that's what he does. That's his bread and butter in the NBA. That's his bread and butter day in, day out. That's what he's made his career on the back of. Maybe Montenegro need to lean on that a little.
And speaking of Montenegro, once again, they find themselves trailing as they did at the end of the first quarter. Mark, some of your thoughts on what they're going to need to be able to do to get themselves back into this game and hopefully eventually a win for Montenegro?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they need to work out how they're going to break the press that's coming in from New Zealand, because that's causing massive issues. New Zealand have run 2 forms of press, a 1-2-1-1 and a 2-2-1. And both of them have caused issues for Montenegro to get past, and they've given up turnovers quite easily on the back of it. If they can break that press, that's going to cause New Zealand issues because it's one of their biggest weapons.
Now let's take a look real quick at what Coach Paul Henares has in store for his team going into this second half.
L downs both ways. L downs both ways. Just when you're off the ball on the post-ups right now. Post-ups here. Obviously, this guy's loaded up, ready to go. Stay super active into passing lanes. Make sure we've got a guy down here and then another roamer for skips. All right, super active right now. All right. Then when we're coming out, get those big boys out.
Interesting now to see the 5 coming out for Montenegro, and Vucevic is being left on the bench. That's a big statement from the coaching team for him not to start this second half.
You know what, given this situation, I mean, maybe it's time for him to have that time to sit down, take a breather, get a rhythm and feel for the game. I know personally in my playing experience, as we get to the action here. And it is once again Ivanovic versus Webster at the top. Ivanovic getting it back. Kicks it back open to Popovic. This is Bejalovic. And Rob Lowe getting knocked down there.
And that's happened all in the first half as well. Dublevic has been an absolute monster in the low post. That's the 8th foul that Dublevic has drawn in this game. That's, you know, that's tough to defend against.
Ivanovic. Oh, Rob Lowe, though, to his credit, as soon as giving up the foul, gets right there and gives that second effort on the attempted pass. So those big 7-foot frame of his to get in the way of that. Bjelica gets it inside there to Ivanovic. Ivanovic works off the screen, gets a little bit of daylight, no good. And guess who? 4-2 coming it down.
Yeah, that's his 4th rebound, and expect to see many more of those in the second half from 4-2.
Webster inside, and we're going to get a foul. I believe that's on Petar Popovic.
And again, New Zealand, they're not going to change their game plan. They're going to keep trying to force those mismatches on the pick and roll, and it's working every time. Here you go, 4-2 rolls away, and what can Petar Popovic do against someone the size of 4-2 but fouling?
Webster gets it inside now to 4-2 once again. This time, though, it's the proper matchup for Montenegro. Spin move up and in. Oh, great defense there by Montenegro. That's a shot that 4-2 usually makes.
And that might be the key. They might need to stay, true to defense and not switch so many times.
Ivanovic kicks it out. We're going to get another off-ball foul, though. Once we said, we alluded to this at the very beginning of the game, Mark. These are two very physical teams. They love to be physical. As much as you're seeing a lot of finesse plays from both of these teams, the war is real in that paint.
Oh, it certainly is. And again, another Dublovic drawn foul. That's double digits drawn for him now. So it's going to continue throughout the entire second half.
Ivanovic kicks it out. This is Popovic, running floater. Can't get the kind roll. Still a battle under the basket. Who's going to get it? Popovic comes up with it. Ivanovic now, trying to find the open man in the corner. Great ball movement by Montenegro around the perimeter in the early going. Popovic going to do it himself again, up and gets the kind roll this time, and the Montenegro bench loving the effort.
Yeah, just that quick first step opened up the lane for him.
Low. Over to Abercrombie, the team captain. Low, back over to Abercrombie. Got an ISO opportunity here, going to take him on, up and in. Big rejection there by the big man, number 51, Bielitsa. Gets it back now, kicks it out, Ivanovic. We've got a foul, and it's going to be on number 0, Ty Webster.
And it's an interesting start to the second half. It's not what you would have predicted. With Coach Mitrovic getting thrown out of the game just before the half break, you'd have expected maybe New Zealand to be the buoyant team coming out, but Montenegro seemed to have the more energy, the more buzz about them.
Inbound. Right back to Ivanovic, the 3. No good. Gone a little bit cold, it seems, in that second quarter and now in the third. Dublovic, great offensive board, kicks it out. Bielitsa can't get it to drop either. It's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be New Zealand ball.
And that's a sigh of relief there for New Zealand, because they really were under the cosh. It wasn't really being relieved, and they're lucky there, because that came off Ty Webster's hand. That wasn't off Dublovic. They've got a bit of luck going their way there.
Can they take advantage now? The Webster brothers, Corey up and in himself. Yes, they do.
Yeah, and he's now topped his score from game day 1, so he's certainly picking up where he left off. He had a quiet second half in game day 1. He's hoping to not fall foul of that again here today.
I'm sure he's thought about it as we get back to the action here. Popovic now. Petar Popovic trying to look for an open space. Long 2, no good. Oh, who's there right under the rim? The monster, Dublovic.
And it just feels like Dublovic has almost been energized by this second half. Maybe it is Coach Mitrovic being thrown out. It's a bit of motivator for Dublovic.
Oh, 4-2 up and in. You got to count the basket on that one. Beautiful move by the big man.
And there's your mismatch. And this is something Montenegro have to work out a solution for. Is it a weak side rotation? Is it, not switching, hedging over the top of screens? Because they can't leave Ivanovic against 4-2.
As Ivanovic, he had now his second personal foul, and it seems like everybody on the Montenegro team is taking turns, at least the backcourt that is, at hacking one of the bigs in New Zealand. But eventually that plan is going to run out when you get to a certain amount of fouls in the game.
Oh, it certainly is. And this is the issue. When you've got a 20-centimetre difference between you and the guy you guard him, what are you left to do? You can try and steal the ball. That might happen occasionally, but you are going to foul them more often than not.
That's 2/3 of a ruler.
It is. It is back to your old school days.
I feel like Captain America now would go, I understood that reference. Here's Ty Webster. Long pass to 4-2 with the clean layup.
Wonderful vision from Ty Webster, and it's those easy points that can change momentum in a game.
Here's Ivanovic. He's going to be guarded by Corey Webster. Gets it over in the corner. This is Shajevic. Oh, nice little tap pass there in the corner. Popovic step back, but it's still a long 2. Big rebound there for Dublovic, though. Kicks it back out. Wide open look. Just rims out. Corey Webster with the rebound.
And this 11-point lead for New Zealand is now their biggest.
Ty Webster in rhythm. No good. Dublovic. That's a real North American shot right there. Popovic kicks it out. Dublevic for three, in rhythm, no good. Webster jumped just a little too soon, up and in, and a finish by Ivanovic.
And Ivanovic just refuses to lie down and die. He is willing to take this game on his own shoulders.
4-2. Bjelica on him. This is a matchup here. Kicks it back out. Corey Webster gonna get hacked, but all according to plan apparently with for Dublevic.
And that was what they practiced. It was exactly what they practiced. They were saying if you're caught, if you're coming out late to guard a smaller guy, how are you going to foul and make sure you're going for the ball, or it's a blocking foul that you're not just swinging wildly at them. And Dublevic obviously listened well because he's picked up exactly the right foul, because it was going to be an easy 2 points otherwise.
That was just a heady veteran move by him. You could just see him stick that foot out the last second just to trip up Webster.
Looks like the refs are going to review it though, whether it is actually just a blocking foul or whether they think he was attempting to trip him. If it's a tripping foul, it might be unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, give me this one and this one.
Wait, both.
Okay. On live. Put up. Yeah, put. Okay.
Again?
Go back. Now frame by frame. Okay.
Then you have another one? That one?
No,
no.
The number 8, yes.
And soon, please. On live? On live, please.
Put it back. Put it a little bit more back. Okay, now the play. He went through the foot. He never played the ball. So,
Okay, so
for me, it's a C1 play.
C1, so 14 wide, and the shooter is Cyril, eh? Cyril is the shooter? The shooter black?
Yeah, zero.
Okay. For you?
You have to go there. Do it. You can do it.
So yeah, they have given an unsportsmanlike foul. They're saying Dublevic wasn't making an attempt at the play of the ball.
Pretty easy call for the referee. I mean, you can almost see it as soon as it happened.
Yeah, it was one of those. Maybe a half second later, his body would have followed his foot, so it would have just been a blocking foul. But yeah, just watching the video back in slow-mo and in the zoom, you can't get away with anything now. The ref reviews are going to pick up every last detail.
We're just over 4 minutes.
Give me the.
Looks like we're back into another ref review.
Who received the foul? Is the 0 or is it the 9? Yeah, it's the 9. Nine.
So it looks like they just needed to clarify which player it was, and it was Corey Webster.
So we're just saying, before we got a quick interruption there, the three team fouls, for each team, and we're not even just over 4 minutes in.
It really highlights the physicality, doesn't it? Neither team has stepped back from the physicality of the game. Even when some of the players have had a little bit of foul trouble, they're still stepping forward. They're committing and over-committing an awful lot on the defensive end.
As we're getting back to the action here, it's going to be an inbound as Tom Abercrombie is going to have the inbound pass, and guarding him is going to be Suad Shejovic. Smith Milner back into the game. Good to see him back after taking a hard hit to the head in the first half.
It's a relief when you see a player take a hit like that. It's great to see them back on the hardwood as soon as possible.
Shea Ili now going to drive up with Vucevic all over him, who's getting his first minutes in this quarter as well. But the defense there happening. So here's Ivanovic going to bring it up, guarded by Ili. Works off the crossover. Vucevic at the top of the key. Passes it off to Derek Needham. Into Dublevic. Inside to Vucevic, up and in, count it, and one, Nikola Vucevic.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. He needs to be a bit more assertive. He needs to demand the ball in the position that he wants it. And that's where he wants it. He's moving, he's reasonably light on his feet for a big guy, and he's got a nice soft touch, and he's drawn the foul from low expertly there.
Have to see more of that from him if Montenegro are to come away with the win here. Maybe this is the start. And Coach Hanare not taking any chances.
Yeah, Lowe going to the bench on the picking up of his third foul, and he joins Shea Illy as well on New Zealand. They've got 3 fouls now as well, so maybe some foul problems are going to cause New Zealand some problems at the back end of this game.
Shea Illy bringing it up now, guarded by Ivanovic. Oh. Just a battle between those two. Ivanovic guessing wrong at just the wrong time, went for it. You can see nothing clearly going for the ball, nothing flagrant there at all. Just a hard physical play by 2 very tough customers.
Yep, again, not going to back down. I think that could be the motto for this game, and it's certainly given us a good game to watch.
I feel like a lot of young players should take a look at how these two play the game. It would be they'll take a lot away from it. Up and no good, air ball, can't get the tip, and Vucevic coming down with it.
Yeah, he's starting to make his impact. You feel maybe it's a couple of rebounds for Vucevic, that's what he needs, and he'll be in it.
Vucevic for 3 at the top of the key, knocks it down, Nikola Vucevic. And the Montenegrins are loving it all around this arena.
And that's exactly what he needs. He needs his confidence to increase. He needs to become a bigger part of what Montenegro are doing offensively.
A good defensive effort there. Illy up, fakes the pass, up and in, no good, but right there is Pledger. Can't finish, but the captain, Tom Abercrombie, brings it back out. Webster now, getting caught in a double team though. Not a necessary foul there, especially when you have the double team.
Looks like it's another technical foul called on Montenegro as well.
Shajevic was there.
Just wait for the clarification on that. But yeah, it's a bad foul to give. You've locked him down, you've double teamed him, there's only 10 seconds left on the shot clock. You don't need to hack, you've done your job.
It's getting very animated in the crowd right now as Webster misses the first shot. And taking a look at that replay, Mark, I have to say, it kind of actually looked like it got a clean strip in the corner there.
Yeah, it's a really tough decision to call, and the officials at the moment are doing a good job on holding on to this game because it is physical. You know, it's tough. The officials have to assert themselves on the game when it gets this way.
There's going to be another technical foul on the coach there.
So yeah, he's had the free throw for the coach technical. Now he's back at the line for his 3 throws, and this, you know, this is not what Montenegro need at this point. They're coming back into the game. They're making, you know, big inroads back into the game. Their intensity is staying high. They don't need these momentum breakers because that's what they are for them. You know, Vucevic has just nailed a big 3. He's grabbed a rebound. He's slashed to the basket, had an and one play. He's finding his form, and this is just draining and pulling the life out of their momentum. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yep. A lot of passion in the arena right now. As we're just trying to figure out what the referees are discussing here. I have to say, you know, bringing back an old street ball term, ball don't lie. As Webster missed the technical free throw. Of course, nothing against Webster himself. I mean, this is a highly competitive game, highly physical. As Coach Paulinari wants to know what's going on, just like everybody else, as he's speaking with the officials very briefly. And it's going to be New Zealand ball here on the sideline with Shajevic all over him.
Certainly brought the Montenegrin fans into the game now. The noise they're making is just going up and up every single play.
Yeah, Montenegrins, they're not the type to, as there's going to be a foul there, 3-point foul, they're not the type to really back down when things don't go their way.
Oh no, definitely not. They're quite happy to have the battle, and as much as the Kiwis love this kind of physical basketball, the Montenegrins love it just as much as well. As we see the replay of Needham picking up his 4th personal foul, that's potentially a big issue for Montenegro.
Not exactly the, once again, you know, those 3-point shots, you don't necessarily want to have that kind of pressure on him, but unfortunately, Corey Webster has been so great in this whole tournament from behind the arc.
Oh, he's the player of the tournament so far from New Zealand. There's no 2 ways about it as he hits his 2nd and takes himself up to 18 points already. You know, he's still got 14 minutes of action to play. He could easily get into the mid-20s on his scoring tally, and for him and for the fans of New Zealand, maybe grab the vital win.
Here we are. 4 minutes remaining in the third, 64-56. New Zealand lead. Montenegro, though, still hanging tough. See if they can get a run going here. Ivanovic kicks it out. 3 up. Nothing but net. Number 30, Petar Popovic.
That's a big shot. That's ice flowing through the veins when you nail that one.
Webster tries to find it inside. Turnover. Guess who? Popovic. Here's Ivanovic now, bringing it up, guarded by Webster.
And they'll slow it down and they'll run the Horns offense that's paid dividends the last 3 possessions.
Vucevic now going to get it up, in, turnaround jumper. Just can't get it to fall. But what a fight by Dublevic in the paint there. Vucevic getting it back now. Back out Ivanovic from deep. No good. But who? Dublevic again. And the crowd, the Chinese crowd too, getting right behind this Montenegro team for that second effort in defense.
I don't know where he gets his power from. Maybe he stores it in that big beard of his, but my goodness me, he's a rebounding monster. Look how he boxes out Smith Milner. He treats him like a child and just boxes him out. And wow, what a rebounding beast Dublevic is.
We've got some substitutions, an entire line change for New Zealand. Illy, Rusbach, Webster, Fortu, and Delaney all into the game now for New Zealand. I'm not mad at that at all, though.
And the nice thing you've got is we're seeing in this World Cup, it isn't a strong 6 or 7. Most teams are running through 12 now, so they can rotate really heavily. We might not have seen that in previous World Cups, but the amount of talent all these nations have to draw on is just so impressive.
Don't look now, Mark, 2-possession game, possibly a 1-possession game now after being down by as much as 8 just a minute ago in game time.
Unbelievable. This isn't how you would have predicted this second half to go, with Coach Mitrovic being ejected just before the half-time break, but it seems to have got the blood boiling in the Montenegrins, and they seem fully focused.
Between that and the technical foul on the assistant coach to top it off. Here's Illy now, guarded by Ivanovic. Ty Webster now into the game after substituting his brother Corey out. Illy drives in. Oh, just too wide open. Red Sea parting there for Shea Illy.
Yeah, Ivanovic has to step across that lane. He can't just try and shepherd him down the lane. He has to step across it, try and take a charge or a block.
Bjelica gets it back over to Ivanovic. 9 seconds on the shot clock. There you go, get it to your main guy. Vucevic kicks it back out though. Double team right away. Bjelica gonna get hit on the hip, and it's gonna be a foul on the ground.
And that's the key. This is exactly what we've been talking about. They know Vucevic is a threat, New Zealand. They don't want to see him starting to heat up. So they've gone straight into the double team. To be honest, Fortu's lucky not to have had a foul called straight away. He's not arm barring him. He's got his flat palm on his back. The official sees that. They're going to call it straight away. And Fortu can't afford to be picking up fouls. He's already on 2. But that double team instantly frees up other players. And Bjelica is a perimeter threat. So they have to overcommit. As soon as they do, he can step in and earn the trip to the stripe.
I'm going to say it right now. If I'm Vucevic, I want the ball at the high post. I want to isolate my big man. If they come in, I need somebody cutting in on the back screen. You either find him or you take your man to school at this point, and you make them understand why you're playing in the NBA.
Oh, and this is the key now. If for Vucevic, it's demanding the ball in the post, be it high or low post. He just needs to make sure that the spacing of everyone else in the team is right. That's going to be the key. It's not whether Vucevic can find people, it's whether they're spacing the floor hard enough for New Zealand to cover when they double team.
Well said, Mark. Getting back to the action, Webster now. Great ball movement immediately by New Zealand. Hits it over. Ty Webster wide open. No good. And Montenegro got away with one there, but right after, Vucevic gets fouled hard as he's coming down for the rebound.
Yeah, Rusbach picking up his 3rd foul of the game as well. And it's just starting to become the Vucevic show.
Yep, and we're starting to see almost, dare I say it, New Zealand unraveling just a little bit here, making silly fouls with 2:16 to go here in the 3rd.
Yeah, and that is a silly foul. You're so far away from your own basket, there's no threat. You potentially injure yourself. What are you going to achieve from that foul? Continue this momentum for Montenegro, and they time out, as you'd expect. They need to talk things over. They need to sort it out.
opposite big drop, and we're in it. Right? Now listen, we're going trans spacing, so we've got space to attack downhill. They're switching on balls, we can throw that in. So, right? Every now and then you get here. Right? Now we come down to the spacing here, we can play, or we can put away. Right? Or we're coming down.
And Dublovic has been absolutely key to this resurgence in the second half for Montenegro. He has drawn so many fouls, he's grabbed so many rebounds, and he really is the fly in the ointment for New Zealand. They're struggling to contain him. They don't really know how to deal with him. They don't have the defensive tactic that has locked him up yet. And what that's done is provided this man at the line, Vucevic, with a bit more confidence as well now.
It almost feels, in a sense, as we look at Bojan Dublovic with a double-double already here in the third quarter, 13 points, 11 rebounds. As much as Fortu has been the heart and soul of New Zealand, he has, Dublovic that is, been the heart and soul for Montenegro so far in this one.
And it was the same through the qualifiers as well. He played in 6 of the qualifiers, averaged 18 points, nearly 7 boards a game, but it was the way he does it as well.
It's almost sense, you know, despite the amazing play from Dublovic so far, I don't know, I'll speak for myself. It just seems and it feels like we're just waiting for Vucevic to wake up, to explode offensively, if you will. And this might be the moment in time. Makes good on both free throws. 1 point game for Montenegro as they've outscored New Zealand 21-13 in this third quarter. Another tough third quarter for the Kiwis.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a quarter that they favour. They come out of the locker rooms a little bit cold sometimes.
Here we are, Webster. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Delaney is going to take on Popovic, and they're going to get a foul. Nope, it's going to be out of bounds. Excellent defense there by Montenegro, and I think it's safe to say the momentum is fully shifted in Montenegro's favor.
Yeah, fully. Everything's going Montenegro's way now, and a couple more changes for New Zealand as Smith, Milner and Abercrombie come back in, and you feel that Coach Anare is possibly looking for a 5 that's going to work, that's going to change the game, that's going to change the flow, because at the moment, they're not having much luck.
And you know what, much to Coach Anare's credit, he's not sitting back. He's not waiting for his players to figure out. He knows that this game is crucial. This is a game for survival. Oh, Vucevic up and in. Oh, just can't get it to drop. He knows he missed it right away.
But the key is he's taking that shot.
Yeah, please, he needs to keep going.
Yeah, for Montenegrin fans, they're desperate for him to keep taking the shots. I'd be surprised, actually, if we don't see New Zealand jump into a zone press again. It disrupted and it broke the momentum of Montenegro in the first half. And what have you got to lose? You know, you're completely on the back foot now, and it's time to, you might have a 1 point lead, but you need to stop the massive wave that's coming your way, which is Montenegro at the moment.
Just an amazing atmosphere in this arena today. We've got fans, hardcore fans that is, from both countries, really getting the local Chinese basketball fans here energized on both ends. Absolute pleasure to call a game like this as Ty Webster now looking for an option here. Finds one, and Nartai, 4-2, Webster, 4-2 for 3, time expires, no good. And who is it? Nikola Vucevic.
That's his 6th rebound of the game, 12 points. He's starting to warm up, and that's a scary prospect for New Zealand.
Need him for 3. No good. Rebound, Tom Abercrombie. Guarded by Popovic. Here's Webster. Works off the screen, gets his mismatch. Bjelica guarding him now. You knew Webster was going to go for it. No good, though. Long rebound comes down for Smith Milner. And Fortu got hit in the face by his own player.
Yeah, he's down on the baseline now. You can't quite see him off the camera angle that we've got, but there you go, holding his face. I think he got absolutely clobbered.
It looked like it might have been a temple shot. We'll take a look. Yep, temple shot. That'll always disrupt you no matter who you are.
It's a bit of a brain rattler, that's for sure. Hopefully he's all right. Looks like he's holding his ear as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell.
But prior to that happening, I was going to point out the fact that the mismatch is great now for New Zealand, because what they managed to do in that last play, Bjelica had to come out and guard the perimeter, so it gave them the opportunity to almost double team Vucevic on the offensive board. Both Fortu and Smith Milner are able to crash the offensive board, and that's why they got the ball back.
66-65, New Zealand leading by 1 just, it seems, almost hanging on in this third quarter. 43 seconds remaining. I'm sure they can't wait for it to end.
No, there's a big psychological advantage if they can hold on to this 1 point lead into the break.
Webster drives in himself. Oh, nice attempt there, but can't get it to drop. Rebound is Popovic. Kicks it over. This is Popovic again. Get it in to Bjelica. Vucevic, Needham. 10 seconds on the shot clock. This is Popovic again. Works it over to Vucevic. He's going to do it himself, up and in. Still fighting for it. And the shot clock is over. And it's going to be New Zealand ball, and Vucevic is as mad as Vucevic usually gets. I mean, that's about the extent of his emotion.
That's him on DEFCON 5. He's full anger. That's him in full angry mode. Although that said, we saw him get angry the other day, and when he tried to throw it down on Antetokounmpo.
Webster, huge rejection there. Number 4, Nikola Vucevic. He lets his game speak.
Best way to be as a player, that's for sure.
Put in. Oh, just beautiful.
When you have a rim protector like Vucevic in your team, though, it gives you so much confidence to commit to your defense. If you get beaten, it's not as bad.
2 seconds remaining. Lob in. Oh, a cheeky play there, but it's not going to go down. And New Zealand, you said it, Mark, holding on to that 1 point lead going into this final quarter. New Zealand 66, Montenegro 65.
And great shooting stats really from both sides. I don't think Montenegro were too happy with their perimeter shooting, but they're getting a lot of opportunities inside, and they're causing a huge number of issues in the paint for New Zealand. And this game is perfectly balanced. It's exactly as we expected it to be, though, and everyone we've spoken to, they weren't really willing to make a call on who was going to win this game, and it's been back and forth throughout. I just looked at the shot tracker here, and bizarre to think Montenegro have only led the game for 16 seconds. It hasn't felt like that.
Not at all, not at all. And I would have to say, you know, we've spent the first half of this game talking about how Montenegro could come back and win this. They've pretty much effectively gotten themselves back in it. So the question I pose to you now, Mark, what does New Zealand do to hold on to this win?
It's almost the opposite of that. They can't have this mindset of holding on. That will kill you in any sport. If you're just sitting there thinking we're holding on, sticking your nails on the edge of the cliff so we don't fall off, you're never going to win a game like that. They have to reset now, come back out, and they go for the win. You know, Shea with the speed, that's what they've got to be looking for. Corey Webster, get him open on the outside. Go back to that mismatch that they were looking for. Go back to the pick and roll action. It works. It absolutely works. And also defensively, get into the press.
We are back, fourth quarter action, ladies and gentlemen. 1 point game. Winner of this stays alive, figuratively, in Group F. Corey Webster with the ball. Going to start it off with a New Zealand possession. Lets it fly, no good. Long rebound. Here comes Popovic on the other end, up and in, and finish!
And that has raised the roof in the arena. Might not be quite a capacity for this game, but my goodness me, the fans that have turned out for it are making some noise now.
First lead for Montenegro since early in the first quarter. Webster, step back jumper, no good. And we're gonna have a jump ball, which is Montenegro possession.
Coach Nare on the sideline, very frustrated at his team at the moment, but look at the hustle here. Ivanovic going up against Lowe, and he's not going to let go of that ball.
Montenegro fans getting loud. And they're chanting. Dublovic. Popovic. Shot goes up. No good. Webster, Corey Webster that is, with the rebound. Kicks it out to his brother Ty for three. Short, but another rebound for New Zealand. Smith-Milner for three. Knocks it down.
That is a huge play from that young man. Watching him in training yesterday, though, he can definitely shoot the ball from range, so we shouldn't be surprised by that big three.
Can Montenegro respond? Vucevic goes up himself. Can't finish. Abercrombie coming down with the rebound. Webster now on the run, looking for an option. Gonna try and do it himself. Foul on the ground. And it's gonna be an inbound on the sideline.
I have a feeling we're in for a very frantic final quarter. So much at stake for both these teams. They're not eliminated if they don't win today. They can still potentially go through tomorrow. In the next game day, but so much at stake for these guys.
You don't want to leave it to chance like that.
Oh, it's a very slim chance, and it's a big lottery ticket that you're asking for.
Webster, oh, denied. What a steal that was by Dublovic, right into his hands, made it look easy.
Yeah, proper veteran move. He locked out Smith-Milner and just got his hand in the passing lane.
Here's Ivanovic, kicks it out. Vucevic for three, no good. Tom Abercrombie coming down with the rebound. Here's Webster, kicks it over, far side to Lowe. Lowe, up top to Smith-Milner. Webster creates some space. Corey Webster.
And that is exactly the mismatch that we were talking about in the break. That's what they need to create. They kind of gave up on it in that third quarter. It wasn't a tactic that they were using well enough. They've gone back to it, and instantly it's paying dividends.
Montenegro timeout after a 6-0 run by New Zealand to start this fourth quarter. Exactly the kind of start that New Zealand was hoping for.
Yeah, shots like that from Webster. I don't think it's going to be the last three of the game from Corey Webster. He's turned up to this tournament fully focused and zoned in massively, thankfully for Coach Anare and the Tall Blacks.
Stara, znaš, Nikola, idemo, Suki, protrčaš ramo, Bojane tu, Vučko tu, ti prope protrči preko ovoga, pas Vučko tražiš, ti što prije po ovom treći stranu, imamo Bojane, ne, imaš voli čošak i donja ovo i ti, ljudi, a ti ga sad popraviš.
Exceptionally calm in that Montenegrin timeout, considering they're obviously the assistant staff of Botko Radovic and Dusan Dublovic having to take over after Coach Mitrovic being ejected in the first half. And I know you're moderating the press conference. I'm glad it's you, not me.
Don't remind me, please. That should be interesting.
It's not going to be dull. I'll definitely give you that.
Yeah. You know what? I got to look forward to at least that. As Ivanovic now bringing it back up for Montenegro. Works inside. Dublovic tries to go up. Great spin move there, but we're going to have another jump ball as the Tall Blacks come and congratulate Webster for his hustle.
And this is something that was missing in that third quarter. When Dublovic got the ball inside, there wasn't the physical presence against him like they had just then. You know, Smith-Milner back in the game is a big plus for New Zealand.
Just getting a wet spot on the floor cleaned up here. And I have to say, Mark, you know, if Montenegro is able to pull this off, I think even just calling it a team win would be an understatement, because literally everyone would have played a part in this, whether it's the coaching staff, everybody on the bench, and the fans.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely a collective effort for Montenegro on this one. If they can come away with the win. Throughout the game, we've been raving about different players. It was Ivanovic at one point, Dublovic, then Vucevic. It really has been across the board, different players stepping in when their team needed them. And, you know, they're within 7.5 minutes to go. I think we're set for one that's going to go to the final buzzer.
Shea Ili now bringing it up, guarded by Ivanovic. Smith-Milner, motion offense in rhythm right now. Ili now kicks it back over. Webster for three, wide open look. What a shot! Corey Webster, are you kidding me?
That is unbelievable. Corey Webster up to 25 points now, 5 assists in 20 minutes of action, and he is just lights out from range.
He's channeling his inner Isaiah Thomas with these shots. Oh, bad turnover there. Smith-Milner on the fast break gets it over to Abercrombie, but maybe not the smartest pass in the world there. Easy tip away by Montenegro.
Yeah, if you're Smith-Milner in that point, get over the half and slow down. You don't need to progress that fast break, but there's the steal. It was just an unforced error really for Dublovic, but yeah, you just slow down and hold on to it and hand it off to a little guy.
Nonetheless, New Zealand still have it. Rob Lowe now kicks it back out to Shea Illy, guarded by Ivanovic. Webster kicks it out. Smith-Milner for three on the wing. No good, just a little bit long. Almost got the kind bounce on top of it, but Dublovic coming down with it.
That would have made up for the roll around the ring that Abercrombie had on game day one.
Ivanovic working off a screen. Mid-range jumper again. Oh, money.
Illy has to work harder to get over the screens than that. He can't give Ivanovic that space.
Here's Illy, crossover. Kicks it back out. Sorry, excuse. Now that was Smith-Milner that got it. I got confused there by the mustaches.
There's plenty of mustache action for New Zealand, that's for sure.
Webster loses the defender but gets it back, and Illy all on the ground, but Popovic this time says, nope, that's my ball. Popovic bringing it up now. 6 minutes to go in this game. 2-possession lead for New Zealand.
Can't be long till we see Vucevic coming off the Montenegro bench. I reckon a minute, maybe more.
Ivanovic back open. Dublovic wide open. Tough miss there. Illy now bringing it up.
Yeah, big offense now for New Zealand. Absolutely critical that they try and convert. Illy to the basket with a floater. Right hand is soft on the teardrop.
Excellent finish there. Shea Illy, and this is around the same time mark that last game where he was starting to wake up a little bit. The fourth quarter seems to be his time.
He just needs a 35-minute warm-up in the game. That's what he needs.
Yeah, when you're right, you're right. Bielitsa.
He should play a game before the game. Maybe that would help.
There's Popovic. Or excuse me, that's Ivanovic. Bielitsa comes in. Oh, Rob Lowe with the assist. And a finish there. Fast break here for New Zealand. Smith-Milner. How do you make that?
That is a circus shot from Smith-Milner, and a wry smile on his face as he comes back up the floor, knowing that he was fortunate to be able to execute such a tough shot.
It's just going back saying, no, of course I meant to do that. Here's Bielitsa. See if he can get a little revenge here. Ivanovic off the screen. Kicks it out. Bielitsa for three. And Montenegro just seems to be going cold here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think they need to bring Vucevic on, and they need to bring him on now. They can't wait any longer. Bielitsa is your perimeter threat, and he's not firing from perimeter, so he's not bringing you a huge amount at the moment. As we see the circus shot from Smith-Milner. That's not one you practice for very long in training, that's for sure.
Put his hands up, and there an attempted dunk, but hey, it's 2 points.
But as they say, when you go hard, and that's what's earned him the 2 points. If he'd gone soft, it would have been blocked and knocked away. He's gone strong, he's given it everything he's got, and he's managed to squeeze it past the block.
And we have a substitution, but it's Derek Needham in for Montenegro. Webster. Lowe kicks it out. Webster. 4-2. Up. In and one. Sporting the headband.
Hopefully that headband's not keeping his ear on, but it certainly helped his game. That's a wonderful little soft touch as he floats it in.
And that is Petar. Let's see, who was the foul on there?
And I think there's been another technical foul called.
On Bielitsa.
And Montenegro are now asking for a timeout. Montenegrin players need to be very careful now. They're starting to step over the bounds of what's acceptable.
That's a third foul on Bielitsa. As you said, Montenegro is going to take a quick timeout here, and we'll get an opportunity shortly to see what the coaching staff might be able to draw up here with a 10-point deficit.
idemo napad, fist. Da. Fist. Da napravimo jedan fist dobar. Tamo, znači idemo double fist, fist u odbrani. Hajde probamo nešto. Do kraja igramo. Tamo da promašaj, box out, nemoj da nas skaču. Hajde, crnu goru.
And this has been the man at the moment for New Zealand. He's once again taken them on his back. 25 points tonight already, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Is there anything this man can't do? Absolutely flying.
You could see Corey Webster, I mean, as I said before, alluding to really Isaiah Thomas-esque. You know, of course, Isaiah Thomas having those injuries in the NBA for the last couple of years, but those playoff performances again for the Boston Celtics, I mean, that's the kind of playing style we're seeing right now from him, working off the screens, getting high on that jumper, real confident and springy in what he's doing. As Ty Webster, his brother, makes good on the technical foul free throw, and now it's an 11-point lead for New Zealand.
Yeah, and 4-2's going to the line as well for his and one play, so it doesn't rain, but it pours for Montenegro at the moment.
Bjelica, that's where he got the technical there on the replay.
But Vucevic back in the game could change things for Montenegro, but they're going to have to, one, start going a bit faster, and two, use Vucevic.
Derek Needham bringing it up, guarded by Webster. Both Webster brothers are on the floor, actually back-to-back at this point. This is Ivanovic, guarded by Ty Webster. Needham for three. Knocks it down, Derek Needham, a huge three for Montenegro.
That's an absolutely massive play.
Ty kicks it back out to Lowe. 4-2, works it over. Tom Abercrombie for three, knocks it down, Tom Abercrombie. If there was ever a time.
Yeah, to hit your first field goal of the game, this is the moment you ought to do it.
Ivanovic, the Montenegrin faithful, trying to get them motivated. Rims out, rebound New Zealand. Corey Webster in the corner now to his brother Ty. Ty Webster now waiting. Surveying low for three. No good, long rebound. Needham coming down with it. Needham gets it inside, Vucevic. Can he create something? Up and in, much needed basket there.
Exactly what they need to do. Feed him the ball. If the double team doesn't come, go to work. That's what the big man needs to do, and that could get Montenegro back into this one.
Ty Webster, up fake, gonna throw it up to Lowe. They're gonna call the foul on Ivanovic. I feel like that's one that could have went either way, Mark. His fourth personal.
Yeah, that's tough as well on Ivanovic. 4 personal, he really has been a spark, a little firecracker for Montenegro tonight. He's frustrated with the call. He's saying he's standing, but...
4 players for Montenegro are now currently on their 4th personal, compared to just 1 for New Zealand.
Yeah, 29 fouls against 21 as well. It's difficult to coach a team with 29 fouls in a game. You're going to struggle to win. 1, you're sending people to the free throw line like Rob Lowe is now, and 2, your rotations are all messed up when you're having to take people out because of foul trouble.
Needham now bringing it up, 12-point difference, 2:44 to go. Montenegro, they got to get going from now. And he's going to let it fly, Derek Needham. Just a little bit short. They're going to call a foul on the ground, though. And that time it looks like it might have been either on 4-2 or Abercrombie. We'll see in a moment.
Yeah, 4-2's picked that one up. And again, they had to double team Dublovic just to keep him off the glass.
And it's going to be a turnover. Derek Needham forgetting that he can't move on those inbounds.
Only on the score. Only on the score can you move along that baseline.
I'm surprised he made that decision. I mean, that's a universal rule.
Yeah, it is. It's not one of those that doesn't translate from certain leagues into FIBA play. It's, yeah, pretty much every league has the same deal.
And that's Needham's 5th person, or no, excuse me, sorry, that's just the turnover.
Yeah, it's just some clarification at the table at the moment, and those Tall Black fans, I think they have a reason to be reasonably happy at the moment. Their biggest lead of the game with only just over 2.5 minutes to go, and It's a big way back for the Montenegrin fans and their team on the floor.
Presses on, but Webster gets it over easily the half-court line. Nobody covering Webster in that corner there. Nice find inside by Lowe, kicks it back out. Great ball movement, Ty Webster wide open.
Too much time.
Yeah,
Too much
Montenegro,
time.
they got away with that one. Ivanovic now bringing it up, 12-point game, 2:18 remaining. Vucevic getting the ball, gonna go up and in himself, gets fouled and goes to the line, and yes. And Mark, you're just nodding your head furiously, go.
Yeah, I'm like one of those dogs on the back shelf of a car that's going along and just nodding my head. Get the ball to the big man. He has the ability to score pretty much every possession, and if he doesn't score, he's going to disrupt the Kiwi defense enough for you to get open shots. Just don't get why it's taken so long and why he was sat down on the bench for so long. They didn't bring him in early enough. They were down by 7 or 8 with like 4 minutes to play. Then we had the Bjelica issues with his foul, then his technical foul, and by that point, you're asking, you know, Vucevic to do a huge amount of work in the closing 2-3 minutes.
This is the second free throw, and Webster's going to come down with it. This is Ty Webster, gets it over to his brother Corey. Guarded by Needham. Ty.
Sensible time management here from Ty Webster. Just run the clock down.
Ty Webster with Vucevic all over him, though. Great defense by the big man. But wide open is Tom Abercrombie. And a tip by 4-2. And that's going to take a Montenegro timeout. And time, in fact, is running out for Montenegro.
Ajde, igramo ovo zamjenu igramo, ajde. Idemo, postavi 3 opet zrti, 3 strane. 3 side. Ajde, brani od današnji koš, ajde.
And yeah, this has been one of the big battles, and Dublovic and Smith-Milner throughout the game have been exchanging blows, and it's been across the court, to be honest. The battle in the paint has probably been one of the most enjoyable to watch. It's not very modern of the game today, but it's wonderful to see almost a bit of a throwback to the 90s way of playing basketball. But what a last minute and 49 we've got left here in Nanjing.
I mean, given how well both of these teams were shooting the ball at the beginning of this game, it's not surprising at all that somebody's approaching the century mark. It just seems that Montenegro in this fourth quarter are just emotionally exhausted after having such a run in that third quarter. But we'll see if they can start it going right now. Needham in the corner, wide open 3. Knocks it down, and that's how you start it. Radoncic.
That's a big play. That is a very, very big play. That changes the dynamic of the game. There's a quick momentum shift to Montenegro. If they can get a stop now, that's huge.
Webster. To Webster. Back over to Ty Webster one more time. The backdoor cut and finish.
Yeah, T-Web just using the backdoor, floating to the basket on the lob, and just an easy 2.
Needham. Gonna let it fly. What a shot by Derek Needham.
Wow, back-to-back 3s for Montenegro, and it's down to single digits now. Can Montenegro seriously battle their way back into this one?
Ty Webster. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Corey Webster now. Gonna drive in himself, running floater. No good. Vucevic comes down with it. And he's gonna kick it over to Dublovic. Needham. Oh, nice spin move there to find it. Wide open 3, but rejected by Ty Webster. Radoncic under the basket. Up and in, kicks it out. Kicks it over. Vucevic, wide open look for 3. And 4-2 with the rebound. And a necessary foul by Dublovic.
Yeah, that's a very heads-up play. In such a chaotic phase of play for Dublovic to have his brain perfectly focused on where the game is, where the score is, where the time is. That's a big play by Dublovic to stop the clock.
We've seen a lot of high IQ plays from Dublovic throughout this entire game.
Yeah, he certainly is. He certainly plays the game on a different level.
What a battle. Ty Webster and Derek Needham. Needham thought he had the open space, but the speed and quickness of Webster.
It's difficult. When someone like Ty Webster gets that first step on you, you're always fighting a losing battle. There's very few players that are going to move at the speed that he does, so trying to catch him up, unless it's a weak side rotation, it's an easy 2.
4-2 at the line, knocks down the first. No good on the second. And 36 seconds remaining, and Needham is going to dribble it up. Not as much urgency we saw this time around. Trying to kick it out, gets it over to Vucevic. Vucevic gets fouled on the ground.
I have no idea why Needham has casually strolled the ball up the floor. There's still an opportunity. I know it's 10 points and there's 30 seconds on the clock, but it's doable. We've seen that before.
Radoncic on the inbound, gets it over, Dublevic. Dublevic kicks it out, Vucevic now. Popovic. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Popovic up and in, can't finish. Big rebound by Radoncic, tries to go up, and it's going to be New Zealand ball, and that's hard pressed. You can see the faces of the Montenegrin fans.
Yeah, the heads have dropped on the Montenegrin players as well. What they need to be aware of, they can still qualify. That's not out of the question, but points difference is critical, absolutely vital.
Webster for 3. He understands that, but misses. And Dublevic from half court, no good, and that's going to do it. Montenegro fall to 1-2, but New Zealand with the 93-83 win, a huge win for them and their opportunity to stay alive here in Group F.
Yeah, plenty to cheer for the tall black fans, and that man there, Corey Webster. What a performance. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists in 27 minutes of action. He was doing it all here in Nanjing tonight, and if he can continue those performances, New Zealand have got a chance of getting out of this group.
You could say one of the talking points of this game, when you look back on it, is most definitely is, look at that, just a beautiful show of sportsmanship. Both teams at center court right now applauding their fans for such passion and such love being shown to both of these national teams in this game here in Nanjing. Just a beautiful thing to watch, Mark.
Yeah, it's a wonderful advert for the game. You've got both sets of supporters being so respectful of one another. We said it before the game. A couple of New Zealand fans ran all the way around with one of their flags, and they were greeted with, cheers and rapture from the Montenegrin fans. The game wasn't played that way. There was a lot of aggression, but it was all in the right spirit of the game. And New Zealand, they stuck it out. 18 turnovers, though, for New Zealand. It's rare that you'll win a game with 18 turnovers, but they managed to pull it away in the end, and it was a tale of almost 2 quarters in that second half. Montenegro dominated the third, 21-13, and then New Zealand just, from the get-go in the final quarter, were flying.
As we're taking a look at the top scores here, I have to though say, Mark, the big difference here, 7-point differential on free throws, 33 attempts as well by New Zealand as opposed to just 22 for Montenegro, and I'm sure Coach Mitrovic is going to have something to say about that at some point.
I have a feeling Coach Mitrovic is going to have a lot to say.
Oh boy.
I think he's going to have plenty of words for his team and for other people as well. But yeah, the free throw situation, and this is what New Zealand do by creating that mismatch we've been going on and on about. They're drawing the fouls, be it big men being uncomfortable on the perimeter or little guys having a mismatch in the post. That's what New Zealand are forcing, and that's great that it's getting to the line. And it's not just about getting to the line, it's about making it. 79% from the line. That's a respectable number to shoot from the line. It really is.
As we're taking a look at some of the highlights here, Smith Milner, huge 3 for him there in the second half. Part of that 9-0 run by New Zealand to take the lead, but much to the dismay of the Montenegrin fans. But once again, you can't reiterate the passion that they had. And of course, Corey Webster is best Isaiah Thomas impression. I keep saying it, but because it's facts. Just a beautiful stroke from behind the arc, and there was no let up from him in that second half.
No, absolutely none at all. And he seems to have turned up from day one of this tournament, determined to take control of it for the team and to lead the team offensively. And He really is on form. It's very, very impressive to see him putting in these performances. And it's not just about the scoring. Everyone looks and gets excited about the scoring numbers. He's filling the box score up.
There's another look there, Bjelica with one of the more impressive buckets of the tournament so far. He's turning nothing into something. As also there's another huge factor for the Tall Blacks was 4-2. Heck of a performance from him.
Yeah, 4-2 just knew how important today's game was. You could see it. He wasn't giving up on anything. He was sacrificing his body and his ear, by the looks of it, in the fight for today's game. And, you know, they now have their fate in their hand. They go into their final game of this group against Greece, knowing if they win that, they go through. That's the situation for New Zealand, and that's great. For Montenegro, it's an awful lot more complicated. They need different results to go their way for them to have a chance of going through.
They need a blowout win over Brazil. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. And what they also then need is for New Zealand to lose to Greece as well. So they're waiting on other people's results now.
As you can see, both teams, you know, slapping hands. You know, despite the physicality of this game, we never saw any real jawing at each other. Just full and complete respect between these two teams. Full and complete respect between the fans. It was just a beautiful game of basketball. And as you can see there, both teams applauding their fans. It's just an absolutely beautiful situation. As there you go. You look at the scores there. You look at the table. Don't go anywhere though. Coming up, we have Brazil versus Greece. Thank you so much for joining us.